James Martinez for another very special edition of Cash Flow today on 1/11/11. This is real. It is documented. It is in the federal court system. James Walbert has the first federal case. It's in court regarding the implantation of an RFID chip into his body. My other guest, Bob Boyce, just had a device removed from him. These guys are not hallucinating. This is going on and is totally real. And this is signed from Jim Guest, State Representative, 5th District from Missouri House of Representatives. I've been acquainted with Mr. James Walbert for over 3 years and his personal struggle to get relief from the continuing electronic harassment, physical abuse, and intimidation he is subjected to. There is a sound medical evidence and medical evaluation to verify that an implanted device does exist in the body of Mr. Walbert. Dr. John Hall, who is experienced in reading MRIs, has confirmed that a foreign body and most like a microchip is present in his body. Has also been confirmed by Dr. Hildur Staninger, industrial toxicologist of the Integrative Health Systems, LLC. This has also been confirmed by William Taylor, a recognized expert in the field of technical surveillance and countermeasures.
I had taken 31 blood tests, and I've had all those done. I have all the results here. I have a 450-page report. Basically substantiates what I'm saying.
5? There's 5 of them in there? Wow. So you see the picture, you see the test results, right?
This person placed these in my ears. All these implants are from my neck up. So they're in my neck. They're next to glandular areas or endocrine systems that can be hyperstimulated as well as in both ears. So it's making a neurological access. You know, who's ever doing it had a plan, had prior experience, and knows what they're doing.
So this is the first case in the courts in U.S. history of something like this. Am I correct?
Yes. Nobody has ever been able to substantiate and prove electronic stalking or electronic harassment.
You know, a lot of folks out there, this may have happened to them. They may be targeted individuals, but they don't have all the backing, all of the toxicological evaluations, all the hematological reports.
Having nervous system stimulations and like neural disruptions, I shake really bad. It'll heat up, it'll blister. At least I don't see anything that's comparable to other victims, you know, daily, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop. Being stalked on my job, I lost my job because I was being stalked. When I woke up, I had blood all in my mouth. It was all down in my ears. It was a sloppy job, whoever did it. Call and make up lies. They will propagate situations that aren't real. They will take measures that are indicative to like gaslighting or gang stalking. It seems that no matter how much evidence I present to people, they absolutely refuse to do their job. I presented everything to the police department. They have done nothing but ridicule me, reject me, make comments that are just completely ridiculous. They have done nothing about it at all. I was able to substantiate and prove my case in front of a judge. Twice I had to go through 2 judges to make sure that this protection order got issued, and they still did nothing. They came out to my house and made fun of me. And this guy's supervisor came out and made his punishment was to sit out in front of the apartment complex all night long, basically poking fun at me.
Him calling me, asking me, you know, what I was doing with James. Didn't I know he was off, or basically not.
One of the countermeasures, you sleep in a copper cage.
He has no, financial support, which is part of the problem, part of the course of being harassed, is to put him under, basically.
The playing field in your whole life has been completely changed, and your perception of life, your value of life, all of those things have changed now.
He approached me and started telling me that he was going to start stalking me with this equipment, that he had done this to people before and got away with it, and he was, there's no chance that he's going to get caught because no one will believe me, and so this guy has had this, execution of his crime down pat. He's had prior knowledge as well as prior, experience. I mean, obviously they placed implants in my body with intentions. Neuroprosthetic implants in my ears. These things are designed to alter and stimulate my nervous system. So, whoever done this, had prior knowledge to doing it. I would have never suspected this guy.
James, when you go to the courthouse, are there reporters there?
No, actually.
Nobody even shows up, huh? Has local media, television, will they touch this story?
No, they won't.
This is too scary for people.
They had discussed removal, and then all of a sudden, they weren't willing to work on it anymore.
Concerned about threats. Very fearful to get involved for fear that they would shut down his facility or they would have some type of financial backlash.
I handed him the x-rays, and he looked at it, and then he handed them back and told me point blank, that's a government chip. I will not take it out, and I don't think you'll find another doctor in the U.S. that will take it out.
With my case being posted, we have now experienced 20 states that have passed these laws. 17 of them have been emergency laws. And several investigators I spoke with feel that these people are now making moves at the legislative level to protect themselves. Are there are a lot more victims out there that actually don't know that they're victims. Why did they pass these laws and under emergency conditions? And these laws,
and so fast, and nobody heard anything about it. We can pass all these laws, and we can do them real fast in front of you, but the fact that you need a doctor to help you, that's not an emergency. And, I don't even want to do anything. I don't want to get anyone near that. It's pathetic to me. The whole thing is pathetic, and there's some people behind this. There's going to be a big showdown.
I was able to track that it was from Verichip based on his RFID signature, and now that we actually have physical possession of the chip, I believe it was Raytheon Corporation actually makes them for Verichip. And I had picked up EMF radiation from my shoulder using an EMF meter. We have not been able to find this chip in the public database, which means that it must be within the lot of chips sold to the government, namely NSA buys these in bulk lots, and we don't have access to the NSA database, obviously, to verify who this was issued to in order to implant me.
Verichip is now referred to as positive ID or PSID.
Positive ID.
I can't imagine why. Has veered off the track of normalities with this particular type of the controversial subject of being implanted in controversial subject of mind control and physiological control. I'm not real sure what would motivate a human being to do this to somebody else. That to me is very criminal. It's very sociopathic. It's very morbid. It's very, if there's anybody that should be getting a crazy label here, I would venture to say it would be the person that's committing the crime against myself. I would never just sit around watching TV and think, hey, I'm going to go put an implant in somebody and abuse them.
The RFID chip was an idea that I was fully aware of when I worked with Walter Boert, who wrote the book Operation Mind Control. I've heard of this before. This is the first time I've heard it in a federal court case issue. I want to congratulate you for doing all the steps that most people cannot do. You're part of history now. This is a much bigger picture because I think everybody deserves to understand what is really at stake.
Are you being stalked, harassed, and your privacy violated? Has your work and personal life been sabotaged or ruined and you don't know why? Are you experiencing trouble with your phone, email, and internet services? Are you being denied help from governing and city officials? You are not alone.
As many as one person per 100 are being targeted in North America.
Same tactics get thrown on this list and
technological and community-based harassment. Gang stalking or group stalking, groups of people stalking an individual.
street harassment.
This is exactly what is happening to me.
My name is James Walbert. I am from Wichita, Kansas. I am a targeted individual for the gain of intellectual properties. In the year 2004, I was responsible for the very first order of protection issued against illegal tracking technologies, illegal human tracking, as well as any and all energized devices designed to track the human nervous system or affect the human nervous system. My claims have been backed up by famous private investigators, as well as famous toxicologists, congressional member, state representative of the House of Missouri, Jim Guest, as well as congressional member Todd Tiehart. My story has been published in 50,000 magazines and 14 times sold on newsstands. I've had several interviews with State Representative Jim Guest and several congressional members doing radio shows with him, as well as my issue is addressing House bills that are consistent with Alaska Senate Bill 293, Colorado House Bill 1082, Missouri House Bill 550, which has now moved into Missouri House Bill 2041, New Hampshire House Bill 686, North Dakota House Bill J020, Ohio Senate Bill 126, California Senate Bill 362, which now has been made into California Civil Penal Code 52.7, as well as Georgia Senate Bill 235, State of Oklahoma, State of Tennessee, the State of Virginia, the State of Washington, Wisconsin. These House bills address the concerning issue of illegal drugging and implantation of a tracking chip for any reason, to whether an employer would coerce you into taking one or whether somebody was to force you to take one. This issue is very prevalent. Obviously, we have now 21 states that have moved to enact laws against this, Senate bills and House bills. They're enacting these laws to address the problem of illegal drugging and chipping and tracking. This seems to be a very prevalent problem in our country today. I work with thousands of victims across the country as well as across the world that are suffering from these instances. My evidence can be backed up by famous private investigator William J. Taylor, as well as Melinda Kidder, State Representative Jim Guest, Congressional Member Todd Tiehart, Dr. Hector Fernandez, as well as the famous Dr. John Hall, and several other famous individuals. You can find my story on the internet, as well as many court cases. Would go back to the year 2009, where I was very successful in proving to the Sedgwick County courts. It would be case 08DM8264. That would be the court docket number for the case. That case addresses technologies that previously that have never been addressed. The case actually has issued a protection order against any and all energized devices designed to track the human nervous system, to disrupt the human nervous system, or to affect the human nervous system. So in essence, I was able to prove that the fictitious weapons that are being claimed about today from other targeted individuals are more than likely a relevant concern. Not only are they relevant, we also have people that are experiencing drugging, tracking, chipping, as well as people being gang stalked, people breaking into their homes. These are illegal, erroneous acts against us. We're being tried and basically sought out for our personal properties. I became a victim in 2004 with threats of handing over intellectual properties, or that I would simply be discredited from the crime that I'm suffering from by just simply reporting the crime. What my goal is, by addressing any congressional members, is that for these laws to be revised and as well as enacted and enforced. It was our Senate as well as our houses that passed these laws. I'm asking for implementation of these laws, for them to be enforced. These laws, people are reporting these crimes and nothing is being done. These people are being labeled erroneously. They've done nothing wrong. They are simply just reporting the crime as instructed. So upon reporting the crime, a lot of them are stripped of evidence, their homes are broken into, and they're stalked off their jobs. They're usually discredited by any point of relevant matter that has to do with an authoritative figure of any kind. In 2010, I had spoke to the Bioethics Committee the President Obama had appointed to basically go over illegal, non-ethical medical testings that had been occurring in the United States as well as out of the United States, but that were responsible by the United States. I was flown out to Washington, D.C. I spoke in front of the Bioethics Committee. They were appointed by President Obama. I spoke directly to them for 2 minutes even, and I was able to address several very important issues. I was able to point out if there was no point of concern for these targeted individuals' claims of being illegally drugged and implanted, then why were there 21 states enacting House bills against these particular claims? I found it to be very compelling as well as very concerning. The fact that they were able to just easily dismiss this and is such a state of not caring. I mean, that's basically what we have been seeing. Even the Bioethics Committee seemed to be very empty and very cold-hearted about it. They didn't really seem to address much of the evidence that any of us were presenting. And the evidence that I'm able to present, like I had stated, to reiterate, these are not letters from my next-door neighbor. These are letters that have been issued from congressional members, legislative members, famous private investigators. These are medical doctors making these claims. Clinical psychologists are vouching for me. PhD psychologists are also standing up in my corner. I also have several court cases that I've won against the technology. So again, I come up back to the concerning conclusion that are we suffering from government corruption? I mean, are these targeted individuals, including myself, are we victims of non-consensual illegal military testing, and we are just simply being denied any due process, any judicial relief of any kind, as well as any recognition of validity? Anything that we say is simply dismissed. It seems to be pushed aside. So it's a very concerning subject for myself.